Apps that will change the way you see the world. This map shows GP striking of multiple wolf packs around a national park. It really shows how often wolves just avoid each other's territories. This map shows 20 different eagles that were tracked over a 1-year period. Notice how they constantly avoid water. This is a map of occupied bald eagle nests in Wisconsin in 1974 and 2019. This is how big Japan is compared to the east coast of the United States of America. 50% of all Canadians live south of that red line. These two areas of Africa have roughly the same amount of people. Each one of these sections contains 10% of the world population. These maps show the passenger railway networks as of 2020 in each of these countries. This is the longest possible way to travel by train in the entire world. That young fox actually walked from Norway to Canada in a 4-month period in 2018. This is how big Australia is compared to North America. This is what a map centered on Argentina looks like. These highlighted countries are the only countries that were mentioned in the Bible. These highlighted countries are the only places in the world that penguins are found naturally. This is a 3D topographic map of Europe. This was the map for a potential Europe-USA superhighway that was proposed by former president of Russian Railways. This is what the surface of Mars would look like if 71% of its surface area was covered by water, just like Earth. Americans were asked to point where Iran ISIL. The green dots are the people who got it right, and the orange dots are the rest of the guesses. Iowa has 99 counties and it could have been a clean 100 if this one up here just followed suit with the rest of them next to it. This is what the world could look like about 250 million years from now if no international borders changed. This was the Roman Empire and this was the Mongol Empire, their biggest sizes ever. The red highlighted places are the only places in the world where you don't need a permit to buy a gun. Basically just most states, the United States and Yemen. The United States had more murders in 2017 than all of these countries in red combined. This was the perspective of the entire world from an ancient Greek historian from the 5th century BC. The British Empire, its territorial peak during the 1920s, shed almost the same surface area as the move. Their territory covered almost 25% of the Earth's entire surface. This map is believed to be the longest uninterrupted walk in the world, going from Cape Town, South Africa to Magadan in Russia, almost 14,000 miles long. This is an East German map from 1988 of West Berlin, except they did not show West Berlin on the map. This map shows what year women got the right to vote in every country around the world. The most recent was Saudi Arabia in 2011. This map shows where all the 2 million public saunas are in Finland. Finland only has a population of about 5.5 million people. 50% of everyone in the United Kingdom lives in this circle. The dark shades on this map are the true sizes of every country without the distortion of the regular world map that we're all used to. It shows if you lay the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world, flat on the ground, it is longer than the entire country of the Vatican City. More than 2,000 Americans were asked to locate Ukraine on a blank map, and this was the result. This is a map of the more than 4 million public roads and highways that are in the United States. These are the only countries in the world that do not use the metric system. This is what light pollution looks like in the United States. The United States, the East Coast, was that right? These are the only countries in the world with a population of less than 100 million people. These are all of the out-of-service railways in the United States. The pink areas are the only areas in the world that you can find flamingos in nature. That red area on the map has the same population as the entire blue area combined. The orange areas are the only places in the world where legally married gay couples could buy a Refleto protect their legally owned marijuana plants. The blue areas are the territory that Nazi Germany still held at surrender in May of 1945. This is a map of all the roads in Canada. This is a map of every recorded sunken Japanese ship in World War II. These are all the underwater cables that sustained the internet. This guy made a world map with his Lego Star Wars army in only 11 hours. The red areas have a higher combined population than all of the gray areas. Each of these blue states have a smaller population than Los Angeles County. This is what tree cover looks like visualized across the United States. These are what the population spikes in the United States look like. This is the amount of the world that is covered by Google Street View. These are all the railway networks that exist around the globe. This was roughly the size of the Mongolian Empire at the height of its existence in 1279 AD. About 80% of Americans live to the east of this line, the longest border that France shares with any other country is actually Brazil. Each of these highlighted countries have a smaller population than Los Angeles County. The red and orange areas have about the same population. This is what the Earth looks like centered around New Zealand. This is a map of the borders between France and Belgium, and that is a French nuclear plant. This is one prediction of what Africa could look like 10 million years from now. This is a map of Africa's borders if it was divided by languages and ethnicities. This is a map of the U.S. wealth inequality gap visualized. As physical land, the 1% would own almost the entire west coast and 40% would own this tiny little space in Texas. This is a flight map that shows over 140 private jets that left Los Angeles within 5 hours after the end of this year's Super Bowl. This picture show big Africa actually is compared to other countries in the United States, China, Japan, right here, India and Eastern Europe all included. This map show big Alaska is compared to lower 48. Meanwhile, this is what Alaska would look like in Africa. Anywhere where you see dark green in this map of Alaska is a place where there is less than 1 person per square mile. This is a really awesome map of the elevation across the United States. This map shows where the most photographed places are in the world. This is a fun retro pixel map of the United States of America with some iconic landmarks on it.